What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have why Germany and Poland have fallen out again. What's going on between these two countries? We're about to find out. Before we do, though, guys, y'all have been so amazing, getting me over the hump of 500 subscribers. So I just want to thank you guys. And now we're on the path to 1,000. So let's push there together. So please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And let's dive right in.
The video was brought to you by Imprint. When Donald Tusk was elected Polish Prime Minister last year, many people thought his return would mark the beginning of a new and better relationship with Germany. Because while Germany and much of the rest of Europe hadn't got on that well with Tusk's predecessors, the National Conservative Law and Justice Party, both Tusk and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz are pro-European centrists with relatively similar politics who have known each other for over a decade. But despite some optimistic signs last year, several more recent events have seemingly caused tensions to flare up once again. So in this video, we'll take a look at the rocky German-Polish relationship, why tensions are rising, and what might happen next. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos. But first, let's start with some context. At Poland's election back in December, Donald Tusk's centrist Civic Coalition came to power, ending 8 years of rule by the right-wing Law and Justice Party. Under the nationalist PIS, anti-German sentiment rose steeply in Poland, and in 2021, the PIS's leader even warned that the EU was in danger of becoming a Fourth Reich under German dominance. The PIS also campaigned heavily for reparations for the Nazi occupation of Poland during World War II, which led to the death of nearly 6 million Poles, more than a fifth of its population.
That is absolute insanity. That 6 million, bro, that's just a time that was absolute pure evil. The Nazis were absolute pure evil, dog. Hitler, absolute pure evil. They took out almost 1/5 of Poland's population during their occupation of Poland. That's insane.
To the death of nearly 6 million Poles, more than a fifth of its population. So in 2022, Poland's former prime minister demanded 1.3 trillion euros, about a third of Germany's total GDP, in reparations from the German government, which was swiftly struck down by Berlin. On the other side, most of Germany saw the PIS as disagreeably populist and Eurosceptic, and relations between Berlin and Warsaw became extremely tense, arguably the worst they'd been.
I would have said there was no way Germany was giving in to 1.3 trillion. I knew that demand wasn't going to be met.
Since 1990, when Germany's post-reunification chancellor, Helmut Kohl, caused outrage by saying that he'd refused to recognize the current border between Eastern Germany and Poland unless Poland promised not to seek reparations. Anyway, when Tusk narrowly defeated the PIS in December, Germany's centre-left coalition government probably breathed a small sigh of relief. With Scholz in Berlin, Central Europe was now led by two centrist dad figures who could seemingly get on with rebuilding trust, leading support for Ukraine, and strengthening cooperation on issues like security, defense, and culture. And originally, it looked like things were going to plan. The revival of the so-called Weimar Triangle was perhaps the most visible expression of this new Polish-German affinity. And many Europeans, as well as Ukrainians, hoped that better cooperation between Germany, Poland, and France would improve Europe's military capacity. In fact, in June, Germany's parliament also voted to establish a German-Polish house in Berlin to create a memorial site for the Polish victims of the Nazi occupation. And in July, Scholz said that Germany was prepared to compensate living Polish victims of the Nazi occupation, which Tusk described as a good gesture.
100% is a good gesture. 100%, yes. What happened between these two? They seemed like they were definitely on the path to building a good foundation between the two countries again. These two were in agreement in a lot of things, and it just seems like this relationship is becoming strengthened. What could have happened?
Two countries then published a German-Polish action plan, which set out a number of other cultural ways to improve German-Polish relations, such as through civil society partnerships, the promotion of a joint history textbook, and the reinstatement of the annual Polish-German Award. However, in the past couple of months, relations do seem to have taken a downturn.
What happened?
And as we see it, there are two main issues: Nord Stream and Ukraine. The first is Poland's apparent refusal to execute a German arrest warrant over the destruction of the Nord Stream gas pipelines. For context, back in September 2022, a series of underwater explosions damaged the multi-billion-dollar Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines in the Baltic Sea, which had carried natural gas from Russia to Germany. Earlier in the month, it was reported that an arrest warrant had been made by German prosecutors for a Ukrainian citizen, a diving instructor who'd been a resident in a Polish town near Warsaw. Germany believes that a group of Ukrainians used a small sailing yacht which stopped at a Polish port to destroy the pipelines. And a former head of Germany's intelligence agency also claims that the sabotage may have been carried out with the agreement of the Polish president and the Ukrainian president, allegations that Zelensky has denied. According to the Wall Street Journal, Polish prosecutors at first refused the warrant by claiming that they'd found an error in the German request, and then reportedly sent a letter to Germany saying that the man, named only as Vladimir Z, had already left Poland. Now, none of this went down well with Germany, but things got a lot worse when Tusk issued...
So is there like credible evidence that this was the man and that he was the one who destroyed this pipeline or caused damage to this pipeline, supplying Russian natural gas to Germany, and then he was in Poland, and Germany was like, he needs to be arrested, and Poland was like, there's been an error, and then Poland was like, all right, well, now he's not here anymore. What's going on?
A tweet essentially telling Germany to, quote, apologize and keep quiet. Another adjacent issue causing a rift between Poland and Germany is the war in Ukraine itself. Last week, German Finance Minister Christian Lindner warned the rest of the government that he would veto any payment requests for Kyiv, effectively blocking military aid. And support for Ukraine does seem to be waning, particularly in Germany's eastern states, where the relatively pro-Russia BSW and AfD parties are currently rising in the polls. Now, we should mention that Germany has already committed 4 billion euros to Ukraine in military aid over the next year, more than any other EU country. But Poland still feels that Germany should be doing more, with Tusk calling on Germany last month to increase its security presence on the EU's eastern border, saying that it is also in the interest of the German state. Moreover, there's also been disagreement between Poland and Germany over the financing of the joint defense initiatives. While Poland and other Baltic states have proposed joint initiatives like the defense line along the EU's eastern border or an EU air defense system similar to Israel's Iron Dome, Germany opposes using joint borrowing at an EU level, i.e. borrowing done via the EU rather than national governments in order to fund these projects. So,
one, the Nord Stream pipes, two, this war in the Ukraine, although Germany has given Ukraine the most money out of all the countries in Europe, Poland's like, y'all should be doing even more than that. In Germany, then again, on the financing of certain things, Germany like, hold up. Why we keep footing the bill for a lot of these things? Why are we being criticized for wanting to pull back our financing of Ukraine? And what do you guys think in the comment section on this one? I don't know the full situation, but from the circumstances, if Germany's given the most out of all the countries in the Euro, how can they be condemned for not doing more? That's a difficult one. So y'all talk to me in the comment section. This one, okay, I'm intrigued about this one.
Where does the relationship actually go from here? Well, to be honest, things don't look good. Tensions over Nord Stream are unlikely to die down anytime soon, not least because, as we mentioned earlier, the rise of Ukraine-skeptic parties like the AfD and BSW mean that the issue won't go away in Germany. Similarly, even though it's true that Germany has provided more support for Ukraine than basically any other European country, its continued economic woes and restrictive borrowing practices mean that the investment in either Ukraine or European defense that the many Eastern European countries would like to see is unlikely to materialize. Ultimately, while German-Polish relations may have had a fresh start when Tusk first came into office, several cracks in the Scholz-Tusk friendship are now clearly starting to show. If you want to keep learning, the very best way is through Imprint. That's the brand.
I'm gonna skip the sponsorship at the end, but this is very interesting about what's going on. Which side do you think is in the right on this disagreements between the two countries? In the beginning, it just seemed like the two countries were starting to form that foundation to strengthen that relationship between the two, and everything was going good. And then the Ukraine and the Nord Stream happened, and now they're back at another falling out. So I got to hear you guys' thoughts. Also, again, if you enjoy, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Let's shoot up to 1,000. That's all we have. Also, don't forget to check out the next video. See you guys next time.